Salut! Today we're going to go over lesson 24. We will see three things, so it's quite a busy lesson, but some points will go quite quickly, so don't worry too much about it. Today we will go over interrogative pronouns, meaning how to translate the words who, whom, or what in a question. We will also see the verb penser, which means to think, and the verb manquer, which means to lack or to miss. There's also a small point at the beginning of the notes about where to place the direct object pronoun with the passé composé. I'll let you download the notes below to go over that after we're done here. Alright, let's get started with our first point, and it's about interrogative pronouns. Pronouns, as we already know, replace a noun. The fact that our pronouns today are interrogative means that they are just used in questions. This will be in English the words who, whom, and what in a question. Now in French we have different translations for these words depending on if they replace a subject or an object. A quick example is the difference between what is cooking versus what are you cooking. In the first sentence, what is cooking, the answer would be the stew is cooking, for example. What in our question represents the stew, which is the subject of our verb in the stew is cooking. But in the sentence, what are you cooking? The answer would be you are cooking a stew. Here, a stew is the object of the verb to cook and not the subject. I will use two different colors for subjects and objects while we go over this, so pay attention to that. Alright, well first, let me give you the easy one. For people, it will always be the word qui, Q-U-I. But you still need to understand the grammar difference between subjects and objects, because there are three possible qualities for the word what and who. It can either be the subject of the sentence, the direct object, or the indirect object of that sentence. So let's go over each of them with examples so you understand how to use this in French. First, if it's the subject of a sentence. For example, what is noisy? Or who is noisy? What and who are the subjects of the verb to be. As I said, for the word who, we will use qui. So in French, it will be qui est bruyant. Now, when the interrogative pronoun what is the subject of the question, we will use qu'est-ce qui. So our sentence what is noisy will be qu'est-ce qui est bruyant. Now, the interrogative pronouns what and who, or more correctly whom, can also be the direct object of your question. Here are two examples. Whom do you love? And what do you love? For the first sentence, whom do you love, we have said that for the word who and also whom, we will use the interrogative pronoun qui. So our sentence will be qui aimes-tu, with our subject and verb inversion here. But for the interrogative pronoun what as a direct object, like in the sentence what do you love, we will use qu'est-ce que. Therefore, our sentence what do you love will be qu'est-ce que tu aimes, or if you're saying this orally, qu'est-ce que tu aimes. You may have noticed that we only use the subject-verb inversion when we don't use a form that has the qu'est-ce que part in it. This can be a cheat code if you want to write this in the margin. If it's only one word, use the subject-verb inversion. If your interrogative pronoun uses any form, including qu'est-ce que, don't invert the subject and verb. Alright, we have one more point to see with interrogative pronouns, and that's when what, who, or whom is the indirect object of your question. This is also called the object of a preposition. For example, if you ask, what are you talking about? Or who are you talking to? Now, I've said that for who, we use the word qui. But now, if it's an indirect object, you still have to keep the preposition of the verb, and it will come right before the word qui. This means that our sentence, who are you talking to, Using the verb parler with the preposition à, as we have seen in a previous lesson, will be à qui parles-tu? Same goes for our sentence, what are you talking about? Except we use the word quoi rather than qui. We have seen in a previous lesson that the verb parler with the preposition de means to talk about something. Therefore, our sentence, what are you talking about, will be de quoi parles-tu? Alright, I know this one was a bit hard to digest, so remember to go over all these points using the notes to make sure you understand how it works. Now today we need to see two verbs, and following the pattern we just saw, they will mean something different depending on the preposition they use. The first verb is the verb penser, which means to think. Let's conjugate it, and after that we can see how to use it. The verb penser is a regular verb of the first group, and it is conjugated in the present as follows. Please repeat after me. Je pense, tu penses, il pense, nous pensons, vous pensez, il pense. In the passé composé, the verb penser uses the auxiliary avoir, therefore it is conjugated as follows. Please repeat after me again. J'ai pensé, tu as pensé, il a pensé, nous avons pensé, vous avez pensé, ils ont pensé. And finally, the present of penser in the second person of the plural is nous pensons. As we have seen, this allows us to conjugate the verb penser in the imperfect tense by simply removing the ons at the end of nous pensons and replacing the ending with the regular endings of the imperfect. Therefore, the verb penser in the imperfect is conjugated as follows. Please repeat after me. Je pensais, tu pensais, il pensait, nous pensions, vous pensiez, il pensait. Alright, now, how to use the verb penser? First, without any preposition, it just means to think. Je pense donc je suis. Means I think, therefore I am. After that, you can use it either with the preposition à or the preposition de. With the preposition à, it means to think about something or someone. For example, I think about Mary will be je pense à Marie. Now, an interesting fit of the verb penser with the preposition à is that it cannot take an object pronoun. Instead, it will use stressed pronouns. You may remember stressed pronouns are moi, toi, lui, elle, etc. And they translate me, you, etc. when you're saying, for example, hey, who wants cake? Me, you, okay? This means that our sentence, I think about Mary, if we want to replace Mary with the pronoun her, saying I think about her, it will be in French, je pense à elle, with the stressed pronoun. Actually, there's a list in the notes of verbs that work like that, where you need to use the stressed pronoun. So make sure to actually go and take a look there. Now you can also use the verb penser with the preposition de. This will be to express an opinion. For example, what do you think about this movie? This will be said, qu'est-ce que tu penses de ce film? Alright, enough about the verb penser. Because right now we have to see a verb that may be a bit difficult to grasp at first. And I'm talking about the verb manquer, which means to lack or to miss. I'm going to skip the conjugation here because it's a regular verb of the first group, so you should by now be able to conjugate it automatically. Think of it as the verb manger, except you replace the sound j with the sound k. Here, listen. I eat is je mange, but I miss is je manque. There you go. All right, what matters here is that there are different ways to use the verb manquer. Let's see first the easy use of the verb manquer, and by easy I mean it matches the English. When you miss a target or a train, for example, you can use the verb manquer with a direct object. So for example, I missed the train will be j'ai manqué le train. And she missed the target will be elle a manqué la cible. You can also use the verb rater for that, by the way, but using the verb manquer is also a possibility. Now, you can also use the verb manquer with the preposition à, and that means to fail in doing something. For example, j'ai manqué à mes devoirs means I failed in doing my duty. You can also use the verb manquer with the preposition de to mean to lack something. So for example, je manque de courage means I lack courage. Now, we are getting to the point that is usually a bit of a problem for English speakers, and that's when manquer means to miss as someone missing something or someone. What happens is that the English subject becomes an indirect object in French, and the object in English becomes the subject of our sentence in French. Now, if you don't know what that means, it is basically that the subject and verbs are inverted. In English, when you say I miss you, we see this in French as you are missing for me. I explain it in more depth in the note, but what I think really works is to learn by heart the following examples, which you can use in real life to get used to the word order with this verb. So listen and repeat the French part after me. I miss you in French is tu me manques. She misses you in French is tu lui manques. He misses me in French is je lui manque. I miss her in French is elle me manque. I miss him in French is il me manque. I miss the holidays in French is les vacances me manquent. Alright, this was a lot, so you might have to go over this video more than once. Don't hesitate, it's not going anywhere. Also, make sure you read the notes after watching this video to go over each point once more. And read chapter 24 in the book as well. And before I log off, can you tell me something you miss in the comments in French? This will help you remember to start the sentence with what you're missing and not je. In the meantime, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free, and you'll get notified when we post new videos about French, or usual celebrations, presentations on theology, or when we go live for our services. Alright, I'm really going now. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for sticking with me until the end. Have a great day. Au revoir.